What's up, Kick and Bass gang? It's your boy Morgan from FOMO, and today we're breaking down our Boost Up remix.
Yeah, we got the energy reduced up. Maximum boost up.
As always, make sure to subscribe for more sauce. And if you guys need sounds like the ones in this project file or want to download the project file, links are in the description below. Let's get it. All right, let's check out these drops real quick.
Maximum boost up. Yeah, we got the energy reduced up. Maximum boost up.
Drop two, drop two, drop two.
Maximum boost up.
Right here, right here. All right, let's check out these synths because they're absolutely insane. So here's them all together. Okay, so first up, we have a remake of the original synth, just to fake out the listener here. So it's a pretty simple patch here. We just got two saw waves, and we have vibrato from LFO5, just doing a little bit of wiggle on the pitch here, just to give it some weirdness. And then the key thing here is we have the portamento on, and what's happening is in the original, it's just going from the minor second down to the root note. So it just bends down a little bit. And then on this second little bit here, so we have the fake out. And then I did a little reverse that leads you into the techno part of the drop here. And this one is just an octave down, going an octave up, just to drag you into that second part there. And for the processing, let's check it out here inside of Serum. So we just got a little bit of distortion just to warm it up. So without this, it's doing a little bit. And then we have hyper dimension, or just the dimension with a little bit of size just for some width. Then we have chorus for more size, and then we're just EQing just to get the parts out that we don't need. Then in post, we have bit warmer, which kind of just makes it louder and bigger. A little bit more EQ, and then some sidechain with LFO tool. Then we have the thick boy group here. Let's take a listen. This took me forever to get down. So there's quite a bit going on here. We got the first layer, which is the daddy layer. And for this patch, I believe this is another synth from the upcoming Kick and Bass Underground pack, which should be out very soon. But let's check out some of the logic on this. We got, well, it doesn't make any sense, but we're going to try to make it make sense. So we got LFO1 controlling the amplitude of all three oscillators. And then we have this super like throaty wavetable on oscillator B. So the sub and oscillator A are giving it like the meat, and then the oscillator B is giving it the tone. Then we also have a couple macros here mapped to the wavetable position for change up. So as you could see on the second part, it goes from to this. And then on the second drop, it has a little bit more automation just to add interest. And this is actually all in the warp mode. So anything that has like a nasally sound, if you do pulse width modulation on the warp mode down here, it'll change the like timbre of the nasaliness of it, if that made any sense. So whenever we put this up or down, it just gives it a little bit different tone. And that's what gives us the variation in the drops. Then from there, we just have OTT just to make it fat, distortion, just warm it up, and then delay's not on, and a little bit of tone and sculpting from an EQ in here. Then we have overdrive and post, just to blow up some of the frequencies there. OTT, just pulled down the highs a little bit to make it fit, pulled up the mids. So it just gets a little bit heavier with the OTT, a little bit more sculpting, and then a standard multiband compressor just to tame some of the highs. Then we have 2 more layers down here. Let's check these out. So we got, these are just samples, and again, these are all on the root note, just on a 16th note pattern. So we have Daddy 4. So the reason why they're 4 and 5 is because I tried like 6 different layers and then toned it back. So these are just one shots from Splice with a little bit of the lows cut out and then blown to shit with overdrive and everything thick OTT. Then we have this EQ8, which is boosting just this portion right here to sort of match the tone of the Daddy layer. And under that, we have another sample just to add sort of a transient layer here. And all these effects are turned off. And on the Daddy group, we have a delay on time mode. And I kind of just randomly tuned this in. So without this, so this is just giving us more space on the lead. So it's just 50 milliseconds and 80 with no feedback. So it's given like a slap back delay just to add some space to the sound. Then we have reverb send with a super short size and decay reverb just to give it some more room. Then on the group here, we have OTT just to gel them all together. Then we have a transient master with the attack pulled up to give it more impact. Then another reverb that only swells up in between the times that it hits. So it just drags you into the next phrase. And the way I set that up is, so we have the reverb on ascend here, and then I have a volume shaper, which is just a utility that only goes from negative up to 0. So when it's playing, it's all the way off, and then I automate the gain up. Then after that, we got more tone sculpting here, and then the kick and bass channel strip, which is just doing some of the arrangement stuff like in the build up here. So we just have washout and filtering. And then lastly, we have LFO tool, which is giving it sort of like a ramp up effect. So it like rolls into the kick and bass. And that's it for the Thick Boy group. Super easy, dude. Then after that, we have on the second part of the drop, we have the acid stab, which comes in. So let's check this out. This is in the root note as well. And inside of Serum, all acid sort of stuff is just going to be a saw wave or the acid wavetable with cutoff automation. So envelope 1 is on the cutoff here. And then we have the mids just blasted to shit with an EQ. Just to boost up the tone. Boost up, there it is, dude. Wait, it almost sounds better without the OTT on it. Okay, but OTT, just to bring it out. More distortion and some space effects. And then we have sort of like an A-B phrasing going on with the notes. So it's just root note. This is the song's in A, but I just used the pitch tool so I could mess around the keyboard in E. And in terms of the automation on the sound, we just have macro 1 changing halfway through the second part of the drop. And then it just goes up a little bit throughout the 4 bars right here, just to add some variation. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, so on the second drop, let's listen to this part again. Yeah, that's just, I actually just did this like 20 minutes ago. All right, let's check it out. So we got the brass stab. So for the sound design, we got 2 saw waves. I don't know. Oh, with the so a key thing with this is if you turn the phase, it changes the timbre of the like brassy sort of sound. So random all the way down and then mess with the phase to change the timbre of the brass. And then we have envelope 1 on the filter here and bandpass to give it the brassy tone. We have a little bit of delay and then same sort of processing as the other sounds. And in post, we got overdrive, just blow it up. Then reverb, just to give it some tail, everything thickness, and some tone sculpting here. Then we got above that the fat Reese. So for the MIDI, imagine this is A minor. So it's just root note up an octave and then a minor second. And just to clarify what I mean about the A minor is, so I know E minor on the keyboard super well. So when I'm writing, I just use the pitch tool. So A is 5 up from E, and then I could just mess around in E minor and everything's in key. So for the patch itself, we have, again, 2 saw waves and then a low pass filter, which we'll talk about later. I'm not going to go too much into the processing, but what we do here is we have the filter automation opening up and closing as the phrase goes. And then we have pitch bend going from down an octave up, giving it that ramp effect, and then at the end it goes down. And in post we have overdrive just to blow it up, some reverb for tail, and the same sort of processing. And for the phrasing here, we have, what I did was I tried to use like all the other sounds just to tie it in together. So if we listen. So we got the daddy hitting, or we have the acid with some of the filter automation right here. And then we have the daddy that hits in between the acid notes here, just to blend everything together. And that's it for the synths, dude. A bunch of synth work here. All right, let's check out some of the other stuff going on. So for the kick, so the process with the kick was I had a kick in A. So it was just this to start. And then what I did was I put a reverb with a super short size and long decay. Then I flattened it and saturated it to get the sub so that everything was in the root note and it blended in super nice with the kick. So this part's just the reverb of the kick. Then we just have, let's check it out here. We got the attack duplicated just to give it more transient, and then another attack layer to just blow it up. Percussion next here. Let's take a listen. So we got 2 clap layers. So they're both pretty weird. Super transient. Just 2 like super little layers just because the sounds are so big. So I wanted to make all the drums and stuff super tight. Then on the turnarounds, we have simple snare into a clap fill on a 16th note rhythm. And other than that, we just have a bunch of little one shots here and there. So that's the pre-drop fill. And that's about it for percussion. Let's check out the cymbals here. Pretty simple as well. So we just got 3 different top loops, and then they just introduce at different times during the drop. And they're just like filtered and washed out and stuff throughout the arrangement. And the other note for these is I just pan them a little bit just to give the cymbals some more space. Down to the effects here. So in the build-up, we have just 2 additional risers that are going to be in the underground pack. And then we have an impact that leads into the fake out of the drop. So, and this is like 3 different impacts that I combined together just to make it as full as possible. Then underneath that, we just have white noise, a swelling white noise that's just layered underneath when the synth is hitting, just to add fullness. This actually makes the whole thing, so without this. Yeah, white noise is huge for filling up stuff. Then other than that, we just have some highbrow vocal chops going on here.
Boost. Maximum booster. Maximum booster.
So for the pre-drop right here, I pitched it down 7.
Maximum booster. Maximum booster.
And then layered it with a tonal delay just to give some variation.
Maximum booster. Boost.
And then we got the boost.
Boost.
Then we have just the up with a weird delay on it just to add to the rhythm in the drop. And then I ripped out the listen from Rumble because I'm just like that.
Listen.
To go into the other phrase here. And the last thing is just the little A sound. So they have a similar vocal chop in theirs, and I just wanted to find something. It's just in the root note. And then it has a quarter note delay on it right here. And then lastly on the master, I put this on here on accident, and I was like, oh, it just sounds way better. So just 20% of the Everything Thick OTT, and then just a clipper after that, and just ducking it down 2 dB before the drop just to add some impact. That's all there is to it, dudes. Let's hit it one more time. All right, gang, that's gonna do it for the track breakdown. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe again, so we could take over the world. And if you guys need the sample pack sauce or want to download the project file, links are in the description below. Peace.